Welcome back to Somehow I Marriage. My name is Noelle.
My name is David.
Yay.
You don't need to cheer for me. I have people that
I
do that.
didn't. Okay.
You said
okay.
yay.
Okay. Oh, that's true. I did say yay. I forgot that was on that take.
You were like, can we get a hey, a ho
Hey.
for David?
Stop it. Stop it right now. Oh my
What?
goodness. You know what you did.
I said nothing, you pervert.
Oh my gosh, you do know what you said. That's proof.
No, I did. No, oh my God.
Why would you add specifically for David at the end of that sentence? Wow, you're going to hell. Okay.
I'm glad you're not my judge.
Yeah, I bet you are. Anyway.
Yeah, I have to experience that every day, you judging me.
Oh, that's how we get to heaven. That's how we get each other to heaven, through judgments.
Well, I appreciate your high standards and
Your impossibly high standards.
that you hold me to.
I appreciate the low bar you set for yourself.
Yes. Have you seen my report cards?
Oh my gosh, yes. You shouldn't joke about that.
It was like, they were like, if you get a 65, you will fail out of school.
You're like, okay, I'll get a 66.
No, it would be right on the dot, 65. It would be like, that was the only time I did math in school was to break out the calculator to calculate how many A's do I need to get to average out my past scores to get to 65.
How many A's does it take to raise an F to a D?
Yeah, that's the only math I would do. And then I would get those A's.
Wow.
Yeah.
See if you just try a little harder.
So I think that the only thing that I'm taking seriously is salvation now. Like that's the only thing that, because it's like, I don't think that there is a bare minimum standard. Like, it's like you have to be perfect, like your heavenly Father is perfect. There's no D's.
There's no D's in heaven. It's true. There are no D's in heaven. There is an A in heaven, though. Oh.
Who? Hey, stop being inappropriate.
No, the letter A. What are you talking about?
You just said ho.
No, I said hey. Did I say ho?
You did now.
I don't know. Wow.
I just got you to say hey ho.
Wow, jerk.
It's like, does this smell like up dog? What's up dog?
Wow.
Does this sound like hey ho?
Oh my gosh. This is the worst. It's very early. David and I have no time during the week at all except at sunrise. So we got up at sunrise so that we could do this podcast. And then we argued for the first couple hours, and then now we're ready to go. Look, my coffee's gone.
I'm just getting started.
All our arguments just zapped me of my coffee.
You could have filled that cup with your tears from
I could have
our argument.
I know, I really could. Oh my gosh. It's so hard to do a marriage podcast, but but we'll get into it. We have been so stressed, I think. So it just kind of culminated in this morning's just unleashing of all of our frustrations. Because we have David's mom is living with us. We just moved. The sale of our house just fell through. So it's just been one thing after another, and to the point that we are so stressed and exhausted that we literally lost our shopping cart at Home Depot with a 5-gallon barrel of paint.
Stop right there. You are blaming that incident of losing your shopping cart.
I said
you're okay, now you're bringing me into it, which is even worse. You're blaming that on stress. I think it has nothing to do with stress because you keep on doing this. You
this is the second time.
Absent. Yes, like this is the second time you've done this where you're in a store and I think you get distracted by something and you take somebody else's shopping cart and start shopping with their cart.
Yeah. So apparently ADHD is contagious because I've been married for a long time to David.
ADHD is a made up vice.
Vice. I thought you were creative.
ADHD is like aliens. It's just made up.
Well, so I one time in Walmart, I was shopping, and all of a sudden I look down and I see that my shopping cart is full of Barbies and girl clothes, and we have five boys. One girl, she's almost 13, so there's no way that this is my shopping. It's clearly not my shopping
So
cart.
at some point what was the point that you just look down and
Yeah,
you finally
I was
look
gonna put
down and you
something in the
see
cart.
that?
Yeah, I was gonna put something in the shopping cart, but I had been I don't even know how long I've been walking around with it. I have no idea where I got it. So I just left it in a main aisle in hopes that somebody would find it. And then I went and I found mine. And then I
You
got out of
didn't
there really
bring it
fast.
back to where you found
I don't
yours,
know
or
where I
look
had it.
for the person that is like lost?
Yeah, I did look around and I was going to apologize, but I didn't see anybody that seemed to be looking for their cart. So I have no idea. But this happened to us at Home Depot because we bought this 5-gallon bucket of paint to repaint David's mom's room in a color that she likes. And David remembered putting it in the basket. And at some point, and we also had cardboard boxes in
No,
there.
no.
No, this is
No,
important to note.
no. This is no, you are saying it wrong. We didn't realize, or we realized that something was wrong at the checkout line,
Yes.
where we had already rung up all these things,
And I said, "Where's
and then
the bucket
all
of
of a
paint?"
sudden there's no 5-gallon bucket of paint. We just suddenly realized, just like that, finally, that there is no bucket of paint. And this was the worst. This was worse than the Barbies. Way
Yeah,
worse.
it was way worse because I'm like, David, did you put it in there? He's like, I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. So we go back to the paint area to see if there's a bucket laying on the ground.
And you're accusing me the entire
I wasn't
time.
accusing you.
You had a tone.
I was confused. I'm like, did somebody steal our paint bucket? Like, why would they want to do that? They like that color, but then they still have to pay for it.
It
This
made
is very
no
bizarre.
sense.
We're looking under things in the cart, like as if a 5-gallon bucket of paint is somehow
How do you
hidden.
lose that?
Exactly. And so we go to the paint area. We're like, did we leave a 5-gallon bucket of paint? And there's a couple there that said, "Are you looking for your 5-gallon bucket of paint?" We're like, "Yes." And he goes, "You guys put that in the cart. I saw David put it in the cart." He
How'd
didn't know
they
your
know
name,
my
though.
name?
He didn't know your name. I just said
Whoa,
he didn't know your name.
That's
Just
amazing.
clarified that.
That's amazing.
That's because I'm like, David, the whole time, the whole store. David, everybody's like, David.
You're yelling at me, and that
Not yelling, calling.
in a loving tone.
David.
Oh, David.
Oh, David. No, David. No. There's a reason why there's a whole book series about David. No, David. No. And
Yeah, and there's a song called "The First Noel." Well, you're hardly my first, so
the angels did sing. Okay, or say.
yeah, there was no notes. They just said,
Anyways,
Noel.
so we can't find this. We're searching the whole store for this
Back to the story.
5-gallon bucket of paint. And then David suddenly goes, "Noelle, it's right there." And he runs down the aisle and he sees our original shopping cart
Yeah.
with
You idiot.
The-
You left. It was okay.
What are the odds?
You idiot. You grabbed somebody else's cart. Just because it had cardboard boxes in it.
What are the odds?
Somebody had cardboard boxes in their cart. We had cardboard boxes in ours, but we only had like 3. They had a whole stack of them.
which we accidentally
And
bought.
So we bought, and then you grabbed.
Because we
you were
thought it was our
confused.
cart.
Oh, you were confused by a whole stack of cardboard boxes, but you missed the glaring obvious detail of a huge 5-gallon bucket of paint missing.
I just have one thing to say. You didn't notice it either.
That's because you wouldn't let me push the cart.
You didn't notice it.
I put my hand on the cart.
It is the woman's job to push the cart.
I put my hand on the cart and you slapped it away.
Did not. You left it somewhere.
No, I didn't. You should not. There's truth to those Muslim countries that don't let women drive.
Okay. But you didn't even
Allahu
notice
Akbar.
it. David, Joseph.
What?
So
it
we
means,
did-
It means God is great
Okay.
in Arabic.
Okay.
It's just sometimes the way that it's shouted in certain
David,
contexts.
stop it. Stop it. Oh my gosh. This is the worst. Good thing only like 3 people listen to this. But so we were
I used to be Muslim.
we
It's
were
okay.
that's a different story.
You,
We'll get to that later.
you're allowed to joke
No, you're not.
if you used
No,
to,
you're
if
not.
you used to be Muslim.
No, you're not.
It's like if you used to be Mexican, you can say
Oh
Mexican
my gosh.
jokes.
Stop it. I'm going to kill you. Just kidding. You're gonna make me cry again.
How do you? How do you used to be Mexican?
Stop joking about that. Oh my gosh. So we're at the checkout, getting back to the story. We're at the checkout, and I'm like, David, where's the 5-gallon bucket of paint? So you didn't even notice it while we were ringing things up. And then you couldn't even remember if you put it in the cart. There was no confidence. Like, Noelle, I put in the cart. What has happened here? It was, I think I put in the cart. Did I put in the cart? I think I did. So we were both under the influence of sleep deprivation. It's been a rough
stress.
year.
I don't know. Yeah, I still doubt that it was stress. I think that that's the way you naturally are, a shop stealer, shopping cart.
Well, it just seems like we just can't get a break. So, which that brings us to our topic. Find a wife who brings cookies to the mechanic. And the reason why we're even talking about this, right, David, is that we had 2 extremely stressful incidences in the same day where, so first, should I tell the Diego situation or the mechanic situation first? Maybe the mechanic. Do you think?
I was gonna say the Diego. Why do you ask me what I think and then like you pick the thing that I
No,
wouldn't
I
pick?
said, do you?
Why
That was 2
can't
questions.
why can't you just
Wow.
know what I was going to pick?
Okay, what are you gonna pick, Diego?
No.
Okay, you just said you were gonna say
No,
Diego.
I didn't. I didn't say that. You got to pick
Play it back.
you got to pick the. Why don't you tell the story of the dentist, which
Okay.
is the
So,
Diego.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Oh my God.
I guess we are on the same
Okay.
page.
Jeez. Noelle is right. Let the record show.
I didn't say that. That's not what I was thinking. So we're not on the same page anymore.
Okay. So we started to notice that Diego's face seemed to be changing. And we couldn't figure out. He looks different. Why does he look different? We don't know why he looks different. Well, apparently his upper lip was becoming extremely swollen. This is a parent fail because we're like, your face looks different, but we don't know why. His upper lip was becoming very swollen. So then finally it became so swollen. We all noticed he can't even close his mouth. Like there's something seriously wrong. So I took him to urgent care, and urgent care said, this is a dental issue. Go to the dentist. So we go to the dentist, and the dentist is like, the teeth are fine. I don't know why they sent you here. The gum is a little bit red, but just take your antibiotics and maybe some Benadryl in case it's an allergy and go home. So we go home, and then within a few hours, he's saying he can't feel his hands. He's saying he's nauseous and he's got a headache. So I took him to the hospital at that point because I didn't know what to do. Like, what is happening with this kid? So we get to the hospital, and they check him out, and they diagnose right away it's an abscess. So, and everybody's asking me at all these different places, was there trauma to the face? So the urgent care asked, the dentist asked, and then the ER asked. They're saying, was there trauma? Did he fall? Did he get hit in the face? And we're like, no, we don't remember anything about this. And then it turned out later, one of his brothers reminded us that he whacked him in the face during a pillow fight. And I remember Diego crying, but it was very short-lived. There was no blood. There was no bruising or anything like that. He went back to play. So it was not a big deal. And if you have boys, this happens all the time. Kids roughhouse, they get hurt, they get back into play. And unless there's an obvious trauma, you just move on with your day and forget about it. Well, so it turned out that that's probably what happened. He got whacked in the tooth and got bacteria up in there and got the abscess. So David had to take Diego for a follow-up appointment, and it was super crazy because...
Yeah, well, you wanted me to go take him
to the dentist
to the follow-up. Yeah, they wanted him to go to the dentist, again, the same dentist, the doctors, that is. And it's like, okay, and I'm thinking like, I'm the middleman here.
Well,
like I wasn't there originally.
The ER doctor said they could not believe that the dentist didn't know, even with x-rays, that this was an abscess.
Right. Well, I can't believe, so I knew you were mad. I was mad too, but like, I had my lines of what I was going to say when I got in there, but I didn't realize the extent of that this guy was not going to own what happened. Like he's going to pretend like nothing. I've done nothing wrong.
And he,
I've
at the
done
same
nothing
time,
harmful.
he wants to extract Diego's tooth.
Yeah, so I get in there and it's tough being the middleman, or not even the middleman, but just like, I wasn't there, like I'm just relaying what was said to me by, my wife, what the doctor said, and now dude, I'm just telling you how it is. So I tell this guy like, yeah, like they were just surprised that you didn't notice that it was an abscess. And oh my gosh, that's when it it's amazing how somebody can be defensive but still have like a smile on their face. And somebody can like steer a conversation, like steer your thought process away from don't look at this. Look at these cookies. Like,
Hmm.
like don't talk about that. Let's shut that door. And the way this guy did that was just by like looking back on it, just using like his aura of authority as a dentist, the way that he spoke about it and a kind demeanor. But it made me feel like this guy's talking it and steering the conversation and away from that he didn't find the abscess, and this is like some people in the emergency room were like, it's clearly that. This guy was able to steer that, and I would, and you only kind of like look at, or sorry, see those moments, like what just happened here. You realize that after the fact, like where you kind of like are able to analyze that because this guy was so fast at like not letting me process what he was saying and moving me away from what he's saying,
Hmm. Hmm.
hey, you're not talking about that. Let's talk about this. And so it was just amazing. Like, and I'm going back and forth with him because I'm trying to like not let him just get away with that. But in the end, I felt good because I got the last word. Like I was able to say like, well, all I'm saying is the doctors were just surprised that you didn't notice. And then it was like this awkward pause. But for me, it was a delicious pause. Yeah, that was, that was a terrible, just
Yeah.
experience. Like we are never coming here again. You are
Right.
done as far as
Well,
our
and
dentist.
because the abscess was draining on its own and he was taking antibiotics and this mouthwash, the emergency room doctors were like, this may be enough to save his tooth. And so you have this dentist
Right.
who's
They had
saying,
hope. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
That was the other thing. Like he had said, yeah, well, if it's an abscess, it's probably going to have to come out. So here's a list of referrals for you. And it's just like, and I'm trying to explain to him, like, dude, that's not what the emergency room said. They said, like, there's a good chance. And he's like, no,
yeah.
look, I've been doing this for, 20 years. If it's an abscess, it's usually going to have to come out. I was like, okay, all right, well, you didn't even know it was an abscess, so in your face, like
I know. Yeah, so we're not going back to that dentist, but it was crazy how, because even you put me on speakerphone and he was doing that. Well, your husband doesn't seem to want to take care of this issue with your son, but I've been doing this for 20 years and I know that this is how you treat this. And I just said, well, yeah, we're all just a little confused right now because you said you didn't, that the tooth was completely fine. So he's like, well, it's your fault because you guys didn't tell me it was trauma. Now that I know it's trauma, then now I know what the issue is. And we related it to the issue where I'm just like, if you don't know that this is trauma, I'm not trusting your opinion for how, or if you don't know this is an abscess, I'm not trusting your opinion that you know how to treat it. Like I'm going somewhere else. Even if everybody says the same thing, I don't trust you anymore. And the fact that you're not owning your mistake, I'm not going to come to you for treatment. So we're going somewhere else. That was kind of our ultimate decision. But we related to like if you took your car to a mechanic, which we are going to get into that in a second too, because this happened on the same day.
yeah, that literally was
um,
all. That was a busy day.
we took our car to the mechanic, and if they are asking us, well, did you run over a nail with your tires? We would be like, well, I don't know. Is there a nail in my tire? Like we're taking this situation to you because you're the expert. We need you to help us with this. And so later that day, or earlier the day before we had to go to the hospital, we took our car, or we were they let us know, sorry, that our car was fixed. This is how stressed we are. This is why I end up with other people's shopping carts.
Allahu Akbar.
Stop it, David. Jeez.
What?
And so, anyways, we take the car, or we're going to pick up the car, and I decided to bring crumble cookies because these guys were like, we thought that this needed to be repaired, but then we figured this out, and we saved you some money and whatever. And so I was grateful, and we've used them before. We really like them. So we take this huge box of crumble cookies to them, and we just said, thank you so much for fixing our car. It's great. I get in my car to leave. You get in the car that's supposed to have been fixed, and it was not fixed. Actually.
No, it was clunking more than the usual clunk, and yeah, I just verified that and then went back in and was just like, hey, I don't even think I said it in a like it was just very matter of fact. Hey, come get in the car for a second. He's like, these guys, he's not going to kill me because he just gave me cookies, but maybe that was to fatten me up. Like, it's like, he's like Hansel and Gretel kind of thing, like that witch thing. But anyway, so like, it's like, yes, get into my car now. Okay, that sounds really bad.
We need a mechanic.
I kidnap mechanics.
Yeah, the economy is so bad. We just start kidnapping people that can fix the things we need fixed.
Yes, using cookies to lure them into our vehicles. All right. Anyways, so I say, hey man, get in here for a second. So he like gets in and we start driving, and then I like stop on the brakes, and like the whole like car shifts like forward like in this huge clunk, like it's like ready to fall out of its wheels or whatever. And he's like, that's not good. I was like, yep. And his response completely different than the dentist.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
You did ask for the cookies back, though.
Yes, he we got out of the car and we're walking back inside, and I said, well, yeah, I'm just gonna need those cookies back, and he's like, well, we already ate some. And I started shouting, give us the turtles. Give us the turtles.
That's from The Office.
Yes, anyway. So basically, completely different response than that of the dentist, where this guy was just like, yeah, give me the keys. I'm like,
yeah.
See ya.
Sorry.
Yeah. Like, do not drive off the way that this is responding right now. You are clearly unsatisfied. We're not satisfied. Whereas the other guy, the dentist, was like, well, you didn't tell me that the car was in an accident, so how would I have known that the car was in an accident? So how would I fix it?
Right.
How would I? And it's like, well, the bumper's falling off, and like the police, even the police officer was like, hey, you need to bring it to a mechanic. There's something wrong with the car. Like,
right. Yes.
And like,
yes.
He's just pretending like, like there's no way for me to diagnose that you were in an accident because you didn't know if you were in an accident, but so how would I know?
How would I even know that?
Because the bumper is falling off. It doesn't,
accidentally.
It doesn't matter if I can't remember that I was in an accident. Like, regardless, there's something wrong with the vehicle. Like, and this is
right.
your expertise. So
right.
So the response there was just shockingly different. And we just can't bring that dentist cookies.
No.
And it's not because they could cause cavities.
Well, and that's kind of one of the things that we noticed that day. At the end of that day, we were like, contrast these two people. The one person was gaslighting us completely, the dentist. The dentist is like, well, this is your fault because you didn't say this. And we're saying, well, we thought that you knew this, and was defensive, was just very dismissive.
Wait, is that gaslighting too? If I said, well, Well, I would have thought that somebody like yourself would have known
Yeah,
this.
I mean, basically, yeah.
So we were both
And then,
gaslighting each other.
right. No, I think it's more like when it's like, well, this is your fault. And then when it's really their fault, it's clearly their fault. But
I was
then
just trying to
also,
ask questions like, how did this happen?
yeah,
And that's not gaslighting. That's literally like just trying to understand the situation, and he wouldn't let me understand the situation. Like
yeah,
let's talk through this. I don't.
right.
You're unsatisfied, and that's
Your
now
fault.
time for me to.
Yes.
Ooh, excuse me. Too much coffee and
Yeah.
sugar donuts.
But then you had the situation with the mechanic that was like, oh, this is a problem. We didn't fix the problem. We're going to take care of the problem. Where there was an owning of that mistake. And
Right.
I think, David and I were comparing these two situations since they had happened so closely. And we were reflecting on that's really kind of uh, in marriage. If we are not willing to own our mistakes and we're not willing to say, all right, yes, I did this. And instead we constantly project, this is your fault. You caused me to do this. Then that's when we have real difficult situations in our marriage. And David and I do this to each other all the time. Like this is not, um,
Wait, what do we do?
we try to figure out why did we make the mistake? Well, it's possible that you led me into this mistake, you know,
Yes.
because criticism from
How
somebody you
the
love.
conversation goes is honey, I feel like this, and then David shares his feelings. Noel listens. Something happens in the middle there where I'm not sure, but at the end it always ends up with David apologizes for feeling the way that he does.
No, that is not. Okay,
and
no. David,
and
David crashes car. David wonders, why is Noelle upset?
I didn't crash the. You were the one. See, you just did it right here. You're the one that
No,
crashed
that
the
was
car.
an example.
We don't remember how Diego got hurt or how got his tooth, abscessed. But I know how the car it made that clunking noise. You took it off joyriding
Who
over a curb.
backed into our friend in our own driveway?
Who is bringing up other things from the past, and
Who
trying to relate them to the situation right now?
who told me that we were in a hit and run and then remembered he might have run into the pole at McDonald's?
I was new to driving a transit. You need wide turns.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, we
The claim never went through. I by the time I realized I remembered what happened, yeah,
Oh my
I may
gosh.
have hit a pole at McDonald's in the drive-through.
I go off with other people's shopping carts, and David crashes cars and blames other people.
So I
So-
so I file false insurance claims. Sue me. No, don't sue me.
That's the
That's
opposite
the
of the
opposite.
point of I'm trying to make. Oh my gosh. But well, so the kids and I were reading this essay by Father George Rutledge, I think it is, and it was on humility. And it was talking about how true humility requires that one be able to accept criticism from somebody close to them. And he said that there's this terrible culture of flattery, that we all want to be liked and we want everybody to like us, so we're always flattering everybody. But humility is what truly allows us to grow. And he points out even in like King David in the Old Testament, there are people that are rebuking the people that are criticizing him. And he was like, no, I need to be criticized because that's going to bring me closer to God. The Lord may be allowing this as a mercy to me. But in marriage, when we are trying to share our feelings that something that you did hurt me, that's never our intention. I mean, usually, sometimes we want to hurt each other, but a lot of times what I did or what you did, the intention behind it wasn't to cause the other person pain. And so I think that causes us to get really defensive of like, no, I would never cause you pain on purpose. And that kind of steers our attention away from the issue, which is really the hurt feelings. Like, how can I better as a wife own that, okay, this thing that I did, even though the intention was not to hurt you, and I don't understand maybe how I came across that way. Can I try a little harder to say, okay, what I did hurt you. I'm going to try not to do it. I'm sorry. And to have the humility as a wife to be able to accept that criticism. It is brutally hard to do that. Do you think it's easy? If I tell you something, hey, you did this, that hurt me, you're generally a little bit, but I don't know. Do you apologize?
Generally a little bit what?
A little bit more willing to be like, oh, sorry.
Yes, because it's a very easy thing. Like, I open the door in your face. I'm sorry. Whereas, like, the things that you are hurt about, like, you bottle up inside, and then you do things to destroy me, like, behind my back and my reputation.
Liar.
Because that's what females do.
Are you talking about when I call my sister?
Yeah. I don't. Men just duke it out. Men just duke it out, like, or duel with pistols. Like, yeah. But you women, you're like, I am going to shoot his reputation. I'm going to destroy him emotionally and psychologically.
That's not totally true.
No,
Nope.
I think in general, aside from giving to charity too much, one of my strengths is I apologize when I have done something wrong, and I even apologize for things that I haven't done wrong.
Yeah, you say sorry just to shut me up.
No,
Yes, you're not really sorry.
I say sorry because I am overwhelmed by all the things that you are bringing up that I have done wrong, that you have linked together, and I feel like such a horrible person.
It's a pattern of disrespect.
I feel like you make me feel like such a terrible person because I've done X, Y, Z, and start back over the alphabet again to A, B, C, D,
Okay.
A, E, F.
The thing is,
F.
back to F. We're back to F again.
Stops on F, and then I have to figure out how many A's do I need to get
Yes.
to at least bring your opinion of me up to a D.
You're like, okay, if I do 3 nice things for her, then I think she'll be less mad.
Well, I start with, I'm sorry for all the things. And that's where I would like to bring the point back around to a close. David says these are his feelings. One thing leads to another. And David finishes by apologizing for feeling the way he does.
Because it's erroneous. Okay.
You know I'm right.
No.
You
No.
know I'm
No.
right.
Oh, no. No. David. No. David hurts Noelle's feelings by expressing his own feelings in a hurtful way.
David shuts down and becomes cold
Yes.
for the remainder of their marriage.
But that is how he got to heaven.
Son, let me
No.
give you some advice about marriage.
Oh my
Never, ever say how you feel. Never, ever.
Okay. But there is a way of how to express how you feel in a way that is not super nasty and mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me how I should express my feelings.
Okay.
In a way that would be helpful to you to share. Wow, I feel like I'm being hateful right now.
Wait.
I am annoyed.
Yeah. No, I think it's just the way that sometimes both of us, I'll throw myself in here, express our feelings. There is an implied accusation that is sometimes not helpful. For example, if I say, I feel like you do everything your mom wants you to do and nothing that I want you to do. If I say that, the implied accusation is, well, you don't care about me. If you say to me, well, I feel like you don't give me time to do the things that I need to do, the implied accusation is that I am, rolling over you and just, steamrolling over you, whatever. So I think that's the hard thing about when we're expressing our feelings is to be careful to make sure that we don't leave unspoken accusations. Like if I'm going to accuse you of not loving me, I should just say that. Like, I feel like you don't love me. Or if you're going to accuse me of steamrolling over you, you should just say it. You're steamrolling over me. And then we can get to the accusation. But when we try to do the weird, like, well, I feel that sometimes you neglect, da da da, it just gets into this almost more of a difficult fight than it would be to just be like, do you care about me in this situation? Or do you care? Do you want me to lead or whatever? I mean, I don't know.
So
That's
you
the kind of,
want me to, okay, you feel like I am, uh, you're feeling like I'm not saying things directly, like I'm not sugarcoating it, but like just beating around the bush, like not getting right to the point. And you want me to just be direct with you, like, hey, you're being annoying.
Mhm.
I have never loved you more now than I have
I do because,
before ever in this moment time.
oh, well, great. So all of our fights should
Uh,
bring us closer together. Is that
I
what
have
you're
a
saying?
feeling though that I'm gonna do this is a trap. No, this is a trap. I'm not gonna fall for this. I'm gonna be as direct as possible, like my friends that I call honey.
That was the last episode in case everybody's confused.
And I'm going to be direct as possible, and I'm going to say, yeah, you're being ends being a giant bee or something like that.
You say that to me all the time. What are you talking about? Like,
And you're gonna go call your sister. Like,
yeah, yes, yes, I am.
this is a futile. This is
We
futile.
can't afford
Like,
therapy right now, so we call my sister. I call my sister.
yeah, I
I
don't
don't know
call
who
your
you call.
sister. I don't call anybody. I store it inside internally and compartmentalize it
You do.
un-
You are not a person that
until
can compartmentalize.
until I try to.
Don't lie.
Yeah, well, then I try to share my feelings, and then I have to apologize for them. And it's just a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle.
Well,
But anyway, so
I will try
humility.
that. I will try humility, like some string beans.
Listen, if I was wrong, I would apologize.
There's that smudgeness. You just did it again. You, you,
I was like, yeah, if there was something that I did that was wrong, I would apologize. But I just, you got to give me some more examples. I think that's the problem. I remember all the situations. You don't remember the situations. So when you ask me for examples, I can give you about 10. When I ask you for examples,
that
you're
are
like,
unrelated.
I mean, I don't remember, but I'm
Yes,
like, well, how
forgive
can
and
I
forget.
fix something? Oh, okay. David, the kind and merciful David.
I think this is shaping up to be a great episode. Or I feel
Clearly, we have a lot to work on.
But before the episode, I felt terrible about my actions and my feelings, and I needed to change. But now, in this episode, I feel like I have done nothing wrong.
I've done nothing harmful.
I've done nothing harmful to anyone, and it's actually you. You're the one
Great.
that needs.
You're the one that needs a change. Okay, dentist. So
It wasn't. It was.
all I want is
Crentist.
cookies. Just bring me some cookies. Then everything will be fine. That's what it is. I think if we need to bring up a criticism, we should first sugarcoat it with something from the bakery.
So,
Let
in
me
other
bring you
words,
this, and
let me
let's.
put in front of you a whole bundt cake and then just put in front of you're
It
an
has to be a
idiot.
nothing bun cake, though.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just put
Yeah,
it down
this
on
will
the
make me
table.
feel better.
Hey,
Actually, I can't have
eat
that
this.
anymore.
While you're eating this, let me tell you something. You're an idiot.
Yeah,
Hey, idiot.
you are pushing my buttons. Speaking of,
Speaking of buttons,
okay. Well, thanks for joining us for another crazy episode of Somehow I Marriage.
I am David.
And I'm Noelle.
And I have done nothing wrong.
Goodbye.